Okay, so here we go. Here's all the rhythmic things that we're gonna learn while Mrs. Hatch is gone. Some of you might only learn the first part, and other you'll be learning this stuff in the back half. Just try your best. I'll try my best to explain this since I'm kind of going back and forth between the NICU and my house with my twin boys. So, okay. So the first concept, if you know the stuff already, awesome. You can either fast forward or you can listen to it and review it. So the first thing we're going to talk about, which is on usually the first page. All of you have, there's like 4 different rhythmic packets. Yours might be the Miss G one. Yours might be the one that has like, it says charts. Yours might be a slightly different one that has like letters or numbers going down the side right here. So it might not look exactly like this, but it's the same concept. So the very beginning concept is quarter notes and quarter rests. Most of you, we talked about this before. So when you see a note that looks like this, has a little dot with a stem stick coming up, and then the other way coming down, that's called a quarter note, and it gets 1 beat of sound. So 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat, 1 beat. The lightning bolt looking thing is a quarter rest, and it's 1 beat of silence. So 1 beat is still passing, but instead of going ta, 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 you just rest. Rest, rest, rest. Okay. So for here, you see how this first measure has 4 of those quarter notes, and then there's this line right here, that's called the bar line, and then we have a note right there, and a rest, note, note. Okay, this top number right here is something that was really important when I have you write down counts. So this top number tells you that you're going to be using the numbers 1 through 4. 1 through 4. I can't get my fingers in there. 1 through 4. Not 5, not just 3, 4. So when you write counts down for these, when you have a quarter note, it's going to be in the number by itself. When you have a quarter rest, you can either put the note in parentheses like this, or you can cross it out, like it with an X or just a little dash. I don't care which version. So when you have this right here, the first number, you're going to use numbers 1 through 4, and you can only use them once in between the beginning and the bar line. Once you get to this bar line right here, the numbers always reset back to 1. And then once you get to the end, it just stops. So right here on this sheet, you have the beginning, you have numbers 1 through 4, bar line. Resets back. This first note will always be 1. Bar line, that first note is always 1. So if you mess up something here, just remember when you cross that bar line, it always starts at 1. This will make more sense once the rhythms get harder, because right now they're not too tricky. So right here, this first number, that first quarter note says it's 1 beat, it'd be on count 1. This next quarter note, it still gets 1 beat, but you can't use 1 more than once within a measure. So this would be beat 2. That rest is also 1 beat, but it's beat 3. So you put it in parentheses because it's a rest, and then you have a 4 right here. And then right here, you cross the bar line. Counts always reset back to what? 1, Mrs. Hatch, 1. Put a 1 right there in parentheses, then 2, 3, and then 4 in parentheses because of that. So that's pretty much that whole like first page. So for example, right here, letter F would be 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4. Does that make sense? So there's that concept. The next one, also you'll see different time signatures. So right here, when the top number is 3, you notice how there's only 3 beats per measure. So you'll use numbers 1 through 3. You won't use 4. And then you scoot down a little bit, and it's a 2, 4. So you only use those numbers 1 and 2. I hope that makes sense. On this next little section, yours might look slightly different, but there's a handful of notes you're going to be learning. You're going to be learning the half note, which looks like this, with the half rest. This is like a little box that sits on top of the line, and these are notes with a circle that's open. It's like a white note head. It gets 2 beats. So it's ta, off, ta, off. Yes, and so when we count them, it looks like this. You write, since these get 2 beats, 2 numbers are going to be involved. So right here you have the number 1 and the number 2. So you write a big 1 with a line, and then the second number, which in this case is a 2, on top. So you're going 1, 3, 4, because you know that these ones right here get 1 beat. Okay. Okay, so when you cross this bar line, the counts always reset back to what? 1. So right here, this is the one that's sitting, it's the half note, it sits on top, it gets 2 beats of silence. It's the same thing as this, but instead of you put it in parentheses or you cross it off. So it's 1, 3, 4, 3. And right here, since this note starts on beat 3, it still gets 2 beats. This gets 2 beats, this gets 2 beats. But this one's the first 2 beats is 1 and 2. The next number you can use is 3 and 4. So you put a 3, a big 3, a line, and a small 4 on top of that line. So another example is right here. The very beginning will always be beat 1. This guy gets 2 beats. So if we already used 1, what's the next 2 numbers we can use? 2 and 3. So you put the big 2 with the line with the 3 on top. And then that's a quarter note, so it gets a 4. Across the bar line, counts reset back to 1, 1, 2. This one right here, it gets 2 beats still, but we can't use 1 or 2, so we have to use 3 and 4. So it's big 3, line, little 4. And if this was a rest, I'll put a little closer, you use a little 3, big 3, line, 4, put it in parentheses, or cross it off. So for example, for this first little part right here, you can try this with me if you want to. So right here, it's 1 beat, 1 beat, 2 beats. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Sorry, that was 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 4. Does that make sense? That's the half note concept. The one with the note that looks like this and the rest that looks like this. This measure, you just go 1, 2, t, t, or you can go 1, 2, and just let 2 beats pass. Does that make sense? The next concept, which is, let's see, whole notes. I might be down at half notes. Okay, so this one is almost the same as the half note. So this one it looks almost like that, but there's a little dot next to it. So this guy gets 3 beats. Okay, so 3 beats, 1 off. So right here, that first note gets 1 beat. So you write 1. This one gets 3 beats, so we have to use 3 numbers. So we use 2, 3, and 4. 2 is the note that we're holding out. Write a line, and then the second and third note. So 1, 2, 3 for 3 total beats. So it's 1, 2, 1, 4. Does that make sense? That's later on in the packet. I don't know exactly where it is in your individual packets. So it's different in every single one. This next one is a whole note, which notice how, okay, so this guy right here, it's a hole, looks like a hole in the ground. And this one is a circle, looks like kind of a hole. They get 4 beats of silence or 4 beats of sound. Okay, so right here, since this gets 4 beats, you're holding 1 the entire time. So it's 1 with the line with 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So you hold 1 the entire time. So you go 1. Does that make sense? This one right here, this is a half note with a half rest. So it goes 1. And this one right here, once you cross the bar line, this one is a whole entire 4 beats of silence. So you still write the big 1 with the line, and then 2, 3, 4. Remember, if there's 4 beats, you have to use 4 numbers. Okay, if there's 2 beats, see how there's 2 numbers? When there's 3 beats, there's 3 numbers involved. So just make sure that you make note of that. Yes, so right here on this exercise, we have quarter notes in rest, a half rest, quarter note, and the whole note. I'll just do this first little part up to this measure 3. So it's 1, 2, here we go, and 1, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1, 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? So you hold that note out for the whole entire 4 beats. And later on down here, boop, you see that one little box underneath? That one's 4 beats of silence, so it's t, 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 t. And notice how this one is sitting on top. That one gets 2. It looks like a little hat. If If you draw a little body right there, I can't draw. That's the little dude's little hat. And this one, just imagine that someone's fallen into the hole. Yes? So that's the whole rest. Okay, the next one. Whoop, are beamed eighth notes. They look like this. Sometimes they look like this. Together in groups of two, when you see them connected with this little beam, together, those two together and these two together equal one whole beat. It's the same thing as a quarter note, but you also will see them like this later on. This is a single eighth note. One of them, not both of them, but one of them by themselves is half of a beat, okay? And this is the rest of half beat of silence. You won't need to know this in beginning choir. You'll need to learn it later. So this is how you count these. Let me find the page that it's on. Whoop. Sorry, right here. Okay, so right here, do you see how we have quarter notes and then the beamed eighth notes? So the first one of the two, the first group, the first number of the two, the first of the two notes will always be a number. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or whatever number you're using. And the second one will be, it's called and, but I use a plus sign because that's just how I write my ands fast. So when we write these, it's 1 and 2 and. Okay, and we perform them. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's how we perform this. So just make sure if you're keeping a steady beat, whenever you're hitting the ground, that should be a number. And when you do the offbeat, it's an and. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So this exercise right here, we have the eighth notes, that half note that gets 2 beats, some more eighth notes, a quarter, and a quarter rest. So this is how we perform this. So it goes 1, 2, here we go, and 1 and 2 and 3, 1 and 2 and 3. Does that make sense? That's how eighth notes go. So this whole entire page has it just adds those. So you still have the half notes, the quarters, and eighth notes. Just remember, whenever you cross a bar line, the counts always reset back to what? To 1. Okay? So just remember that. Okay? So right here, you'll also see, okay, I wrote down my paper down here. Do you see how this group right here, eighth notes are grouped in groups of 2? And then this one right here, the eighth notes are in groups of 4. You'll see them like that both ways in music. If you look on this page right here, you see how the eighth notes, there's one beam. This one right here, they're grouped in groups of 4. And then down here, they're in groups of 2. There's a reason why it's like that, but I don't need to bore you with those rules. But just know you'll see them both like this and like this. Okay? And sometimes you'll see them upside down like that. Hope that makes sense. So for example, this measure right here, this would sound like this. 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 2 and 1, 2 and 3 and. Does that make sense? So that's the eighth note concept. Okay, just try your best to get that. Okay, the next one are dotted eighth notes. This is the one, I don't know what page it is on your individual little packets. Okay, so they look like this. So eighth notes, you see how there's a quarter note, right? Sorry, dotted quarter notes, eighth notes. We'll always see them in this class. You'll always see them in this combination with a dotted eighth note followed by, dotted quarter note, followed by an eighth note. It looks like this, okay? Or like this. This one note by itself gets 1.5 beats. I'll tell you later how you figure that out, but just trust me, it's 1.5 beats. Okay, so this rhythm right here equals the same thing as this. So if I got rid of this little like tie thing right here, you would count this 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. But with the tie, we hold out this first number through the second number. So we don't say 2, but we say the and. So it sounds like this. 1 and 1 and. So when you should be thinking 2 in your head and using that as your springboard to say the and. Okay? So right here, when you see this, I want you to think of the dot as like, let me get a little pencil here. Ooh, this is really hard to write here. Think of it The big note is a big number, and then the dot is a little number, and then this is a big and. So it's one and, or two and. So this would be 2, 3 and, or 3 and. That would be 3, 4 and. But you don't say that number. Okay, you just feel through it. Okay, so right here, this right here, I write the exact same rhythm in the front half, the first like one through the beginning of 3. All those first notes should sound exactly the same. They just look different. Okay, so this one you count like this: 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1 and 3. 1 and 3, 4. That makes sense. So right here, whenever you see this, you have the small number, so the big number. The dot is the small number. You don't say that number. You kind of use it as a little bing. 1 and 1 and. Just use that as a little springboard. So right here, there's a lot of them right here. So these are all the different placements where they can start. So to start, if you have your quarter note, dotted quarter note, that starts on beat 1, it looks like this. 1 and. If it starts on beat 3, it's 3 and. If it starts on beat 2, it's 1, 2 and. So just make sure you feel 1 and. Feel that 1 and. Just feel that offbeat. Okay, so I'm going to try this whole entire bottom one. If you mess it up, try it with me. If you mess it up, I think you're awesome. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, here we go. And 1 and 3 and 1, 2 and 4. That makes sense. This is a little bit tricky, but let's see if we can find an example. Let's do this guy, section line B. So this is 1, 2, here we go, and 1, 3, and 1, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 1, and 2, 3, 2, 4, and I messed up that part. I said 2 instead of 3, but just make sure you feel 1 and. The little dot should kind of put a little breath accent with your voice. 1 and. Hope that makes sense. So that's the dotted quarter note, eighth note combo. Whenever you see that note followed by that, that's how you perform it, and this is how you write it. Big number, small number with the and. Next combination. So if you're in beginning choirs, you'll learn these the concepts that we just went over. If you are in an advanced choir or in chamber or in your second year in a more advanced choir, this is the stuff that you should be learning right now or be reviewing right now. I don't know what page it's on, but these are 16th notes and rest, okay? So the first thing I want you to make sure, do you notice how we learned these? These are 8th notes. Notice how there's one beam. That's the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Make sure you pay attention to the difference between that versus this. How many beams do you see right here? 2, Mrs. Hatch. How many do you see here? 1, Mrs. Hatch. 2. So when you see 2, it's pretty quick. So all of these 4 notes together right here take up the same space as one beat. So these 4 together equal one whole beat. So separately, it looks like that with 2 little flags, and it gets a fourth of a beat. Not one beat, it's smaller. It's like a quarter of a dollar, okay? So right here, when we say these, we go 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Can you say that with me? Ready, go. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. Okay, so right here, okay, this is how we write them. So it's 1E and a. Yes, you can write out the whole entire letter, like, and if you want to, or you can write those different ways you write the fancy ands. I just do a plus sign because it's easy. So it's 1E and a, 2, 3, 4E and a. Then this is back to the 1 and, 2E and a, 3E. So when we perform these, keep a steady beat. Here we go, start. 1 E and a 2, 3, 4 E and a 1, and 2 E and a 3. Does that make sense? So your example is right here. I think some of you might have started this already, but if not, it's okay. So this first line, what's that first number? It's going to be 1. This will be 2 and. Here's the quick one, 3 E and 4. Right here, that gets 2 beats, so it's 1 through 2. This is 3 E and then 4. Right here, that's a beat 1. 2 E and 3, 4 and, 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4. So when we perform this, we already do 1, 2, here we go, start. 1, 2, and 3 E and 4. 1, 3 E and 4. 2 E and 3, 4 and 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4. Does that make sense? So whenever you see these fast notes with 2 beats, it's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. Okay. But then the next part, and these ones, remember, different time signatures. You should just use 1 through 2 or 1 through 3. Okay. The next little part combines some of the notes together. Remember, 1 and. Just remember those. Do. Where's the next little section? Okay, right here. Okay, so this is the next little section right here. This is what I call 16th and 8th note combos. So it's using a combination of the 1 E and 2 E andas and the 1 and 2 and. Okay, so when you see these, example is right here. Do you notice how right here it looks like the front half of this, but then the last 2 notes looks like the back half of this. So right here, this would be on beat 1. This is 2 and that's 3, that's 4 and So when you're looking at these are the next notes that you'll be seeing on the next couple pages. There's 4 patterns I want you to pay attention to. Do you notice how this one right here, number 1, has the two beams, the front half on the front part, and then it has the singleton beam, the last one right here. So these counts are the number, E and. So it's 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. So it's almost like you're saying 1 E and but you don't say the 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. You should probably say that with me. Ready, go. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. The next one, it flips it. Ooh, sorry, that hurts. So you you have the single beam, the 8th note on the front, and then you have the 2 beams on the back half. So right here, it's the number and so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, say that with me. Ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Okay, this next one is tricky. Some of you might cry a little bit. Okay, so this one right here, you see how there's like the 2 beams right there. The beam is very tiny, and then this one has like 1 beam, and then it goes back to the 2 beams. So this one is that first one right here. This last one is that last one right here. And then this one is creating one of these. But it's like taking this E and this and putting it together to make it look like one of those. So this one is 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, sorry. 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E. That makes sense? So it's like 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E. It's kind of tricky, but just try your best with that one. This last one, you have the 1 and the dot is the and. You don't necessarily need to put that. But then this last one is the It's that last one. So this first note says it has a dot next to it. I'll talk about the dot concept when I'm with you in person. But this whole entire first note, the dot next to it, is all these first 3 together. The number, the E, and the and. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is how we do this. So this first one, okay. Do you notice how it's the 8th note first, followed by the 2 16th notes? That's this pattern right here. So it's the number and 1 and These are just normal 8th notes, 2 and. right here, what comes first? Is it the single beam or the double beam? The double beam, Mrs. Hatch. So that means that it's this pattern right here. The 1E and, 2E and. But since we on beat 3, we start with 3. So it's 3E and, 3E and. And then beat 4. And then this one right here, what pattern is it? It's that one. Okay, so this is 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. That one's just 2 and. This one right here, what does it start with? Does it start with a single beam or a double beam? A single beam, Hatch. So that's this one right here. 2 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, so right here it's on 3 and a 3 and a 4. And just so you know, this sheet, like, it starts with one of them, and then the next one it kind of switches to the other one, and eventually it combines them. So just make sure you pay attention to that. So right here, this exercise is ready, go. 1 and a 2 and 3 and 1, a 2 and 3 and a 4. I didn't put any of those ones down because those ones, I don't know if you'll see those ones yet. You'll probably see those when I come back to you. Yeah, that should be all the concepts. But some of you, I might get fancy and have you do these while I'm gone. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, these ones right here, this is a combination of an 8th note with an 8th rest. And sometimes it starts out with a note followed by a rest, and sometimes it starts with the 8th rest followed by the note. So right here, you have to really pay attention. Always find the groups of 2. When you see a singleton like this, always try to see which note comes first. So this one right here, does the note come first or the rest come first? The note comes first. So that would be the number right here. So this one, when you have this combo of the note followed by the rest, the first one, this is really hard, will always be a number, and this one will be a rest on and. This one right here, when you see this combo with the rest starts, that first one will still be a number, but it's in parentheses or crossed out, and the second one will always be an and. Does that make sense? So the first one will always be a number, second one an and. First one will be a number, next one an and. Just try not to get in your head that this 8th rest will always be an and, because it's not. You learned first that this probably is used as an and, but just make sure you pay attention to the groups, the group of 2. Does that make sense? 2 notes together. So right here, do you see? That's a group of 2 right there. This is a group of 2. So this note starts first. So it's the number first, followed by the and. This one right here, that's the group of 2. So leave that alone. What comes first? The note or the rest? The rest comes first. The first one will always be a number, but this one's a silent number. Okay, so when we do this one, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a really, it almost feels like you're doing like quarter notes, these guys, those little guys, but it's just shorter. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one right here, you have to feel the number, but don't say it. So this is and. Kind of tricky. So let's try performing this one. So this is 1 and 2, 3 and 1 and 3, 4. So I hear that 2, I'd be like, make a big like boom or stomp with your foot. Okay, this one right here, this is the next one. This would be on beat 1. It says this is 1 beat. This next one would be on beat 2. Put it in parentheses. Okay, so this would have to be a what? And. Here's the next group of 2. This is the next number. Here's the and. There's the 4. Cross the bar line, which counts. Always reset back to 1. That's a 2 beater. This one right here. Oops, sorry, you can't see my pencil. Here's the group of 2. The first one's a number. The second one's an and. Ooh, this is hard writing and recording at the same time. Boop. Okay, so this one right here, here's how we perform it. Ready, go. 1 and 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. Just so you know, they won't be this tricky when you actually do them. They start out pretty easy. This one right here is kind of tricky, and this is hard. I do this on purpose. Oh, it's not focusing. Focus. Focus, camera. This is 1, 2. Here's the first group right here, first group of 2. So this is 3, whoop, with the little and right there. Here's the next group. That's group 4 in parentheses with the and. Across the bar line, here's 1 in parentheses with the and, 2, 3, 4 with the and. You perform this. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4. Okay, so those ones in the packet that you have, it won't be that tricky. So those are all the concepts that I think you'll go over. You might do the syncopation one. If you get to this one, just kind of tell everyone to stop. If you see this pattern with 8th followed by a quarter followed by an 8, 1 and we'll do that when I get back. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Just try your best. If you mess up epically, you can shoot me an email, hatchc@ogdensd, and I'll help you figure out how to write counts down for all these things. Just try your best, and try your best to keep a steady beat and make really aggressive mistakes with the sub, and come back ready. So when I come back, you're a rhythm reading machine. Love you guys all. If you guys really behave, you're awesome for the sub. I'll show you pictures of my baby boys. They're really cute. Yeah, they're super precious. Love you guys. Happy practicing. Be awesome.